Hey guys, Bart here with Tully Television, and I want to thank all of you for stopping by. I hope I can earn that subscription today. I hope that you can like that smash button or smash that like button, strike it, reverse it, however you wanna dang dong reverse it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just know that I appreciate you guys coming by and checking us out today. Today we are getting into Way of X, number 4. And if you remember the previous episodes of this series so far, it's basically Kurt trying to create a guideline for the mutants to abide by while living on Krakoa. Um, also, simultaneously, the entity known as Onslaught has been lingering in the minds of the mutants of Krakoa to try to make them more negative, to try to make them more uh, aggressive. David Haller, aka Legion, has also made his return here, trying to help Kurt. He was able to make Kurt destroy his brain in order to uh, be regenerated back into his physical form, thus making Kurt progressively live in these gray areas that he's not used to living in. Is it really killing someone when they're able to come back and be alive? You did destroy their organic body in some sort of way, but they're back again. It's a conflicting thing for Kurt, and this is why between the moral and ethics he was raised with, he's trying to combine that with the new technology that there is today. But we basically open up with them in the beginning here trying to uh, gather their stuff. They happen to be on Mars because that's where basically Krakoa is. Currently, the X-Men Red Story series is covering what's going on up in there. Storm is the leader there, and Kurt and Legion are basically talking about uh, one of the rules that Kurt wants to make, which is no mutant shall kill any man. And if you remember the character Lost that we came across and uh, was introduced to here, the reason why she has a problem with Fabian Cortez is that many years ago, as an acolyte of Magneto, he had Minecrafted her parents, and she's eventually going to want to confront him about that. And one of the newer rules is no mutant shall kill a mutant either. So Kurt's already understanding that there's going to be conflict to some of these things coming up, and David Holler seems to genuinely wants to help him relegate what to do with certain situations. But what we do pick up here with is Fabian Cortez uh, with Gorgon in New York City, and Kurt was alerted to the fact that Fabian is boosting Gorgon's telepathic powers, allowing him to read everyone on Manhattan's brain pattern, brain thoughts, as opposed to your elbow thoughts, I guess. um, you gotta make fun of yourself a little bit, right, guys? Um, and he's hoping that with the current sentiment against mutants, that the aggressive thoughts that these New Yorkers are having towards uh, this character and other fellow mutants, that it will make Gorgon attack um, people, thus creating him breaking one of Nightcrawler's rules that he's setting up for Krakoa. But this is where you're adding wrinkles to scenarios. Well, what if this person did this, but he's being controlled like Fabian Cortez, and thus not really in his full faculties, but he still committed the crime of hurting humans. So what do you do? And he's forcing Kurt to basically confront him to take him down. But one of the rules is no mutants should hurt other mutants, and or allow him to kill people, which is then you're an accomplice to murder, or then allow him to turn you into stone when he opens his eyes, because Fabian Cortez is holding back that power, and he has the made him take the blindfold off, allowing yourself to be turned to stone, but that means that you're Minecrafting yourself in Fabian Cortez's mind, and that goes against Kurt's teachings to not hurt yourself in any sort of way, that your body is a temple. And Fabian is trying to test Nightcrawler's absolve, his resolution, and that's what this series, Way of X, has been all about for Kurt. Where is his new ethics? Where is his new morals lie? How far is he willing to put the goalpost to accomplish safety, not only for mutants but for humankind? And little do you know that that's probably the path that Magneto took so many decades ago, and Xavier. So it's really an interesting issue so far. We also get Xavier, a confrontation between Xavier and David Haller, aka Legion, the first time since David has come back in his human body. And Xavier knows that someone is in the background affecting the mutants of Krakoa and making them behave differently. And he wanted to know if David Haller was behind it or one of his personalities. David, of course, rejects the notion it's him, but we know it's not him. We know that it's only one person, and he's discovered who this person is. But in the meantime, Xavier touches his mind without his without his consent, thus discovering that it was Onslaught all along. That it's been in the background, being AKA the Patchwork Man. So finally, also, so we pick up back with Fabian, Grogan, and Nightcrawler, and finally Nightcrawler thinks of a perfect solution, and he brings the attention to himself, thus dissolving the control that Fabian had over him, or the initial mutant, and they decide to go home. And Kurt decides to bring Fabian back to Krakoa to basically talk to Lost here, because what he's going to do in next issue, and only we can see when the time comes, is he's going to have Fabian and her face off, because he feels like most villains don't really get to one-on-one hear their crimes against them and see the effect that it took on them. When Xavier blew up the bar after going into David's mind and not being able to process the information, everyone in the bar except for David, Haller, Zorn, and Torn, which is two mutants, are helping him be his backup, that in case David starts getting crazy, they're able to fry his mind and shut him down right then and there before he can even do anything. And David put that plan into place, saying that if I ever start getting nuts, you need to take me out like that, because I'm not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to stop me any other way unless, like, immediately as I'm trying to regain my new personality. But he had them go get the resurrection team so Xavier and everyone else can come back. But as we know, when you do the resurrection, you kind of lose a bit of time and forget exactly how you died. And you have to be told that information. And you only hope that the person telling you is telling you the truth. But at the end of the issue, we see David here basically inserting something into his mind, um, into his essence. But basically, what it's going to be called. Um, Shoot, what is it going to be called? It's not going to be. It's not in this issue, but it's basically a new like bubble reality that David has created. So the people that he trusts can um, project themselves, manifest themselves inside his mind, which is where the bubble reality is, and he's able to talk to people freely. Other people are able to go there and just hang out and relax and reconnect with themselves, and we learn. It's called the altar. The altar. Took me a second. And in the Legion of Vex story, we see that more and more play out, where we see Kurt and David there a lot, trying to go over plans for their eventual team called the Legionnaires. And we can go over that story. It's currently up to issue 9 or 10 or 11 or something like that. I've been keeping up to date with it. And some interesting twists and turns in that series so far. But this is the Way of X #4 review. We see Fabian maybe being held accountable for the first time in his life. We see David and Nightcrawler getting closer to taking out not only Onslaught, but trying to create a new lifestyle for the mutants to live by. And we can only see how that goes. And we also see that Xavier's still being Xavier. Xavier's gonna Xavier, man. He's gonna touch your mind and not even ask you if it's okay or nothing like that. You know, real creeper. He's a real creeper, man. And Sins of Sinister, he seems to be taken over by Sinister again. Uh, this guy, man, this guy don't know how to keep people out of his head. But I digress. I hope that I've entertained you, educated you, or just helped you get through the day. But I appreciate you. Stay tuned for Way of X #505, followed up by X-Men Onslaught Revelations to wrap up that story. And yeah, until next time, peace, Nookums.